Yeah, we're gonna be going to
Mos Eisley.
Mos Eisley. Yeah, I was about to say that. We're gonna be going to Mos Eisley.
Right?
A pretty interesting map here for game number 1. Interesting enough. But Blaze is gonna be going back onto the old reliable Mordex, level 100, like we mentioned. But it's an interesting pick here we're seeing from Echo, the Reno. Blasters and Orb, you know, 2 weapons that I haven't seen Echo played, but not sure if they're testing out Legends. But honestly, this is not the time to test out Legends. I didn't quite catch the level. I'm not sure if you did, Jaguar.
I did not.
Yeah, we'll see probably when they lock in, if they lock in the Reno next game, but, you know, this Reno's a very interesting pick, and right now it is pretty even with Blaze with a slight upper hand, and looking to push his lead even more, goes for the ground pound, does connect, the weapon throw,
recovery,
and that's enough.
And, yep, Foxy knows it's over for that first stock.
Indeed. And I mean, you know, one thing I'm going to have to mention is that we saw Echofoxxy use Mordex earlier in the set against Aesthetics, I believe. I think if I remember correctly, it was the second game. But them using that Mordex, I can't remember the level too much, but I remember it was a high level Mordex. And I wonder if that's going to come...
So?
Yeah, 85 or something like that. And I wonder if that's going to have any sort of advantage, or if that's going to come into any use. Against Blaze here, you know, a person with a level 100 Mordex. I mean, 2 people that kind of have that same character mastery, kind of, with Blaze a little bit more mastery than Echo. Can Echo utilize that knowledge that they had of the Mordex when they played that Mordex before to fight here Blaze?
Right. But now we're seeing Echofoxxy really doing quite well for Reno. We saw, and that NSYNC does take the stock. A little bit behind, but not too bad. Not able to get too much more after the blasters hit. So still a little bit behind. They'll be having Orb next, I believe. But they are right now unarmed.
Indeed.
Gets the 2-piece off unarmed.
Nice,
and
the weapon
Blaze
throw.
Weapon throw connects.
Ground pound.
Echofoxxy and Blaze is right there with the ground pound weapon off to confirm it, and that means it is going to be a whole stock lead over for Blaze.
Not that great right now to open out for Echofoxxy, but Blaze is looking to build his lead even more. He has a whole stock to play around with. The damage is even up, and if you're Echo in this position, you do not want to be in this position whatsoever. You want to be a little bit with a lead against Blaze, perhaps, but... Man, Blaze with the scythe is just insane.
It makes it back because it does just touch. And another dare for good measure.
Oh
another dare for good measure. Blaze doesn't outplaying along there, but anything you do for game 1, goes to Blaze.
Wow. I mean, you just saw that Blaze was just... Echo was just throwing out moves in order to make it back to stage, and just Blaze just had the read. Like, it was just insane to see Blaze go for these options, just well-placed dares, well-placed snares, and just was able to get that last stock out of there. And it seems like... if you compare this Blaze to the Blaze that we saw against Sapped, I think Blaze is a little bit more locked in coming into this one.
We are seeing a different thing. We're not going to see a Reno again. We're going to be seeing a Jiro this time. It's level 25, so just enough to get black if that's what they're after.
Well, they already have black. You see them locked in with the black color scheme here, Jaguar. But yeah, the Jiro is a very interesting swap over. I mean, not going over to the Mordex, of course, respecting that. Hey, man, Blaze, this is your pick. I mean, I see you have the level 100 Mordex. I'm not going to go for the Mordex Zitto because you'll probably diff me in it. But going over to a Scythe Legend, so you're still going to have that Scythe. And then the Sword is a very key component because you're going to have that shared weapon with the Zuri. We talked about earlier in the stream where Echofoxxy utilizes Zuri to get, I believe... was it a game off of Aesthetics? I'm not sure if they got a game off of Aesthetics with the Zuri, but it still put up a hell of a fight. But like I mentioned...
No, it was 3-0.
Oh, it was a 3-0, okay. But still, I mean, the Sword definitely was kind of utilized very well against Aesthetics and was able to rack up a lot of damage for them. So going over this Jiro is not that much of a bad pick because you have kind of that shared weapon of both the Mordex, the Scythe from the Mordex, and the Sword from the Zuri. All in one in this Jiro pick. The only, you know, kind of concern is what I have about this Jiro pick is really the defense. The defense is going to be, I mean, just a huge downside. But
and they didn't touch.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't touch there, and they're going to be falling off into their second stock. And Blaze starting off with a lead here. It's not that looking great for Echo just at the moment, but still, you're going to have that Sword. You're going to have to try to see if you can build up any damage you can over against Blaze.
Yeah, well, Echofoxxy, I think, is just trying anything, like even going off stage and trying to bait Blaze off, it seems. But dodges a ground pound there. Avoids it, and now back on stage, catches the dodge, not able to get too much more off. That side sig connects, but it's not going to be enough. Blaze does make it back. Recovery, still not enough to take out. So Jiro having sword next. Sarah connects, won't be enough to take out. And I think Blaze is going to make it back safely. There's a weapon throw. Blaze does make it back, trying a bit of a ground pound, and the side sig, or the D-sig takes it, and no options again, and that's the second stock. I thought Jiro was going so well with that.
Yeah, I felt like
interaction.
I felt like Echo was going even at some point, and just somehow Blaze was able to just, just lock in a little bit, hold the stock for a little bit more, and able to push his lead even more. And now you're seeing with the 2 stocks up, Echo, I mean, at risk here to being 3 stock in the game number 2, has to try to see if they can find a knockout immediately. Goes for a side light, now looking for the edge guard, but there, Blaze has him right where they want him. Nice nair. Can he make it back? Another nair. Options are dwindling, and just like that, a 3 stock. Wow, in our game number 2 here, and I mean, man, what do you make of this, Jaguar? This is just a complete difference from that last game that we saw.
Absolutely. I felt like he, I think for better or worse, Echofoxxy was trying to make something happen and it didn't seem to work out. But I mean, as far as losses go, like a close loss is basically effectively the same for tournament purposes as a spectacular loss. So you may as well go out fighting.
Indeed.
Try your best. Try for something high variance and see if it works. You might pick up a game.
Yeah, and we have a legendary showdown here of the Tai Lung versus the Tigress, a Kung Fu Panda showdown. If only we had the Spirit Realm map, in the tournament pool, it would have been even a perfect. It would even be a more perfect.
Right.
Showdown between 2 of these characters here. But yeah,
was
Tigress,
it ever tournament legal, or?
I believe it was tournament legal at one point, but that's like way in the past, like a couple of years ago. But it's no longer tournament legal, of course. But still, we're going to be going over to Moise Isley, a map pick that they've been kind of favoring throughout this set. But we're going to be seeing, I mean, Echofoxxy locked in on this Tigress, the Zuri crossover, of course, and then Blaze locking in over with the Tai Lung, the Mordex crossover. So both of them playing their mains.
Cat is the Dare, and no options again. And so once again, Mordex having the Mordex of Blaze having a better of the offstage outcome.
Yeah.
Taking the first stock. It's really good to say a lot. While we're talking, we have all this off. We're all doing all their stuff off stage.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is right now throwing off the weapon,
picked
up the Dare, and
no.
Again off stage. Probably not going to make it back.
Blaze is just so clean. He's so clean off stage, and this is why he's showing us right now that he is a fighter in today's tournament and in today's bracket. I mean, his Mordex, his sight has been smoothing. He's been able to play around Echofoxxy so well, be able to, be in that position where, Echofoxxy can't attack him. And Echofoxxy's just not able to get these hits. Like, even it went for that end sig, and just like that, there's no way.
Recovery, and once again, and Echofoxxy realizes it's over. Game and set.
What? That's just a diabolical way to end it. Game number 2 was a 3 stock. Game number 3 was also a 3 stock. You see the damage being output, 89 damage. Oh, that was not a good way to go out.
Well, I mean, Echofoxxy was going for the let's go out in a fun way, and hopefully we'll try to take a game. And unfortunately, Blaze was all over it. Really just punishing like a lot of these attacks. Like, not that the attacks were no longer surprised. If the match was sapped was anything, it's no longer really a surprise factor. They try something like that off stage, and Blaze just fully there to reverse those stocks.